Hello, everybody.
Hello there.
How's it going, boys?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Been running around like a blue-ass fly today, but apart from
that term for a while.
Simple and classic.
Yeah.
Simple and classic. So yeah, a little bit later than planned. We'd initially said 8 o'clock, then I moved back to 9 o'clock. And then we came on at what time are we on now? 20 past 9. But anyway, we're here and we've got some stuff to talk about. Yeah, so we're going to be covering, as you may have seen from the link that we set up. We're going to be discussing the gallery episode of what is it? Is it just called the gallery? Isn't it? Star Wars: The Gallery?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Basically, the making of the Mandalorian.
Making of the Mandalorian with Mr. Hamill. There's a few news bits and pieces to cover, and Andy is going to be, we're going to be discussing some stuff about Star Wars versions, aren't we? Star Wars versions.
Yes.
So, what would you like to kick off with first? We know we've not cemented any particular order. Hey up, Brian. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Hi,
hey, what?
How things doing up there?
Maybe do the small news bits first.
Yeah, why not?
The small news bits first.
Because I think the gallery episode will take up the chunk of the episode, won't it?
Yes,
I
I
should
imagine it probably will. So let's do the news stingy wingy then. And here we go. Alrighty then, Star Wars news, and I've completely lost the thread of where it all was, to be honest.
Whoops.
Have you got it in the chat, Andy? I don't even know where it is.
What the
news stuff, yeah.
that was from Matt, wasn't it?
No.
Okay. We've totally not prepared. Actually, it may have been in the chat that you sent me like last week before we almost did a show.
Oh,
But never mind. All good. We're going to cover instead. Oh, that was a thing. And I don't know if you know about this. So this is something we can talk about first of all.
yeah.
Well, one of us just finds out where the hell all those links are that we've stored. Yeah, there was another YouTube channel last night, and I think I did pass it over to you guys that were doing. Oh yeah, it's makingstarwars.net.
Yeah.
And they were
Oh
on
yeah.
part 6 of a Duel of the Fates script read.
That's right. Yeah, I've not actually watched any of them, but yeah, so I've seen them pop up.
Yeah. So what's the drill there? Like, is this a leaked script? Or
I think
is
it was leaked a while ago.
Yeah, so I went on the video and then
Has
went
it
back
been-
to the first one, and they're reading out draft 1. So, and I believe draft 2 may have leaked, but I haven't seen anything out there. Apparently, draft 1 was written before we lost Carrie, and draft 2 immediately addresses the Carrie problem.
Oh.
But I think draft 1 also, at that point, Colin thought Luke was going to be in Rise of Skywalker. Duel of the Fates, episode 9. So, second draft acknowledged that Luke's no longer alive, but he is going to be in the film, and Carrie's gone, like proper gone. So we don't know how Colin was going to do, like how we're going to do Carrie's exit. Are we going to do one? Are we even going to acknowledge it? So that hasn't actually been leaked yet.
Yeah, because
it sounds like draft 2 is not too much of a stretch from draft 1.
No, and with what I've heard, it sounded a lot better than what we actually got from JJ. To be honest with you,
yeah.
I really don't know why they didn't go with it.
Well, didn't he ask for?
He was upset Luke was killed off.
He asked for Luke not to be killed, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or
But he obviously accepted it because he rewrote the script as him dead. But
And
he
then
brought
they
him
weren't
back
happy.
as in a sort of significant-ish way. And I don't think the powers that be wanted that to happen. That's the impression I get anyway. That's just like...
Cameron Pasha said it on this show as well about Colin Trevorrow, didn't he? He said he actually he took like Rose Tico from Last Jedi and made her into a character you actually care about and stuff. I'm paraphrasing. Cameron.
You're right. I remember that. Yeah.
So he'd read that script as well, maybe even before it leaked to the internet.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember when the leak coincided when you talked to Cameron. I can't remember the timeline of it.
We'll have to get Cameron on again at some stage.
Yeah, tricky one that, isn't it? Because he obviously his Twitter got deleted, didn't it? Or did he?
Did he get?
I think he's back on it. I'm friends with him on Facebook, so you can always.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Have him there.
Yeah, it'd be good to have him back on. Yes. So, that's an interesting one. Right. Well, let's have a look at this then. Yeah. So we don't. Just to finish off on that, has it been confirmed then that these first and second draft are actually kosher? Like.
I think they are. Yeah, I think
they are the scripts. Yeah.
Legit. Yes.
Right. Okay.
I think Colin even acknowledged it, didn't he, on Twitter or something?
Did he?
Some kind of post? Yeah.
Right. Okay.
He also confirmed that the leaked artwork was from his concept art as well. Not not him. He didn't do the concept art, but he was saying that's the concept art for the story I was doing.
I'm sure there was a head. I'm sure there was a head that rolled when found out that script had been leaked.
Just a bit,
unless he surreptitiously leaked it himself.
Well, you never know.
You never know, do you?
Well, we've heard of that happening before, haven't we?
Mm.
People purposely leaking stuff, and there was a suspicion that Disney were leaking stuff to sort of what do you call it?
Throw people off the scent.
That, but
muddy somebody's name.
No, not that. Like a global focus group.
All right.
You know, like in politics, they get a focus group in of different kinds of people and see how a policy runs before they announce it, and just see how a few of the public feel. A little bit like that, but through leaks.
Right.
I'm not saying that's the case, but people have accused not just Disney, other studios of doing it just to see what testing the water, so to speak.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me because there's a lot of money riding on these movies.
Yes.
It certainly is.
Maybe they should have done more of it. Maybe we should have tested the water a bit more.
Tested the Roger Waters. Well, there you go. Oh, interesting. Right, let's do this one first because I do like this program anyway. Or I did. Okay. Let me put that over there. So this is this is taken from the Scum newspaper.
What? It was either that or the Daily Express.
Right.
Yeah. Never the Scum. You'll never find a copy of that in Liverpool, I'll tell you that.
No, that's true.
Right, so here is this is from the Scum, and this is Starstruck Antiques Roadshow Fiona Bruce open mouth as she learns staggering value of Star Wars prop. So it's not the guy from Prop Store who brought it in, is it? For a bit of PR, or is it just somebody who bought it? Yeah, we'll find out anyway. Antiques Roadshow star Fiona Bruce was left open mouth after she learned that the staggering value of a Star Wars prop. In a recent episode of the BBC show, a guest brought along an original Star Wars helmet from the first movie in '77. Fiona introduced the guest and the item by saying, "We're filming on an estate mentioned in the Doomsday Day book in 1086, and here we have one of the most futuristic contraptions imaginable." Contraptions. She's a big Star Wars fan.
It's just a stormtrooper helmet with a rebel helmet on top.
You can just imagine people at the event going, "Is that Dark Vader?"
Yeah. Is that Dark Father?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I never realised that. It's so obvious now looking at it. I never realised that about the TIE Fighter helmet.
That's all they did. They stuck just got a stormtrooper helmet and put a rebel helmet on top of it.
Bugger me. Well, there you go. Learn something new every day. Fiona asked who the helmet belonged to in the film. The guest pilot replied, "This is the original prop TIE Fighter pilot helmet." When she asked what that stood for, the guest explains twin iron engines, and not many people know that. Not a lot of people know that. The pair then discussed the impacts of the first Star Wars film had, and then Fiona asked how he came across the helmet. He said, "I collect original props and costumes, and I have things like batarangs from Batman and stuff from Bond films. My true fashion is Star Wars, and so I spent many, many years traveling all over the world, speaking to the crew members and cast, and going to prop and costume rental houses and things like that, trying to find these things and find out where they end up. And this particular piece was buried in the attic with one of the senior crew members on the film, who was gifted it at the end of the film."
Oh, it's
sorry, what?
It sounded like the crew member was buried in the attic as well.
Yeah, he's not quite worded that. The guest admitted, senior crew member. I wonder who that was. The guest admitted it was a major undertaking before Fiona asked how much he paid for the helmet. He was a bit reluctant to give the exact amount, but admitted it was a few £1,000s. Fiona then told him, while somewhat in disbelief herself, "It's difficult to value, but having spoke to our experts, they reckon 40 to 50,000. She then tapped the helmet and remained shocked as it was just a piece of plastic. I was like, "Don't touch it."
Yeah, get off.
I mean, props have always been kind of thingy and collectible, but since PropStar started doing these big auctions and stuff, I mean, film stuff did go for big money at like places like what's the big one for Sotheby's and things like that.
Mm.
I remember stuff like that going for big money, but since like PropStar started doing these big ones, like things are just going crazy, aren't they? Like they did Indies. The Indies Raider hat went for mad money.
It's crazy, man.
And this time around they got the Temple of Doom one, and that went up in auction. I don't know what that went for, but I can only imagine that Last Crusade will appear at some point. Although I think the Last Crusade one might be in the Smithsonian or something.
All right.
There's a thing, if you look it up on YouTube, actually, it's worth a watch for Indiana Jones fans. There's a thing on YouTube, and I don't know what the event was. Maybe it was something to do with that Smithsonian or something. I'm not sure, but it's the Women of Indy. So it's like Karen Allen, Kate Capshaw, and Alison Doody all being interviewed on stage, and Ford comes on at the end with the hat and the jacket on. He's got like jeans and a white shirt or whatever, but he just comes on with the stuff on, and it looks just like the Last Crusade hat.
Right.
So whether he borrowed it back from the thing just for the event, or maybe that's where it was auctioned, I don't know.
Got him. Yeah.
Really good interview, well worth a look at though, to just hear their points of view on it all. And
yeah.
so right, so there you go. So if you can get your hands on a senior member of cast and crew and get in their loft, you never know what you might find and how much you will eventually be able to get for it. That's at a later date. So there you go. Right, I think there's I'll look at that afterwards. Let's do this. I should know this one. We'll see if any of them are mates of mine. They probably will be. Right, here we go. So this is taken from whatculture.com, which I'm not familiar with. 10 background actors in Star Wars who got themselves noticed. These Star Wars extras caught everyone's attention. Generally, the job of the extra, or rather background artist, is to add believable ambience to a scene whilst not drawing attention to themselves. Sometimes a distinctive-looking or ambitious extra might end up pulling the audience's attention away from what the director wants to focus on. And in the Star Wars franchise, that's certainly happened a lot. The hit sci-fi series has, of course, roped in literally thousands of extras across its many movie productions, and so it's simply a numbers game that at least a few of them are going to end up making a mark with viewers. Picking just 10 isn't easy, and we deliberately excluded the infamous clumsy stormtrooper because, to be honest, it's a little too obvious. And to be honest, nobody can agree on who it was.
Who it was, yeah.
Particularly between the stormtroopers themselves. So it was Michael Leader. But anyway, these background actors were all supposed to blend into their scene naturally, but each caught the eye of inquisitive fans, to the extent that some aren't even fully fleshed out characters in the wider Star Wars universe. And yet, because of some of these unexpected iconic parts were played by uncredited extras, we still don't know who they are. So Wilro Hood. That's the
running of the hoods.
Yes, the ice cream machine.
I've got an idea for the Saddleworth event if it happens.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, they do that, don't they? At at Celebration. I've seen it done at Star Wars Fan Fun Day actually as well.
Yeah, I've seen it done there. Yeah, the running of the hoods.
Yeah, they did do it last time, didn't they? Yeah, so Star Wars extras don't get much more iconic than the legend that is Wilro Hood. Hood was a Cloud City resident who appeared on screen for a mere second in The Empire Strikes Back, running past the screen holding a mysterious white device during Darth Vader's assault on the locale. Because the item Hood is holding seems to be an ice cream maker, he has largely gone by the name Ice Cream Maker Guy for the last 4 decades, despite receiving an official name in 1997 Star Wars Constable card game. There you go, there's some Woodrow Hood.
Yes.
Fans found the character's urgency to evacuate himself with his freshest dessert-making machine so amusing that Hood has become a most unexpected popular costume character. I wonder if the guy... I don't think they've ever found the guy, have they? Anyway, the annual Star Wars Celebration fan event organises a running of the hoods whereby fans dress up as the character and run around the convention centre with the ice cream makers in tow. The mythology went even deeper more recently, though, when The Mandalorian revealed that his retconned the device to be a safe known as a Camtono.
Yeah.
Sadly, despite some spirited attempts to identify the uncredited actor who played Hood, he's never been located or come forward. One could only hope he's aware of the positive impact he's had on so many lives. He kind of looks oldish there, doesn't he?
Yeah. He could well be in his... Well, he's middle-aged, isn't he, there? I'd say.
He could be long gone.
Yeah.
Would be cool if they found him, though. He'd sign up.
Was he not in one of them ships at the end of Rise of Skywalker where everybody shows up?
He could well have been the ship that looked like a big ice cream maker.
Yeah,
that's probably him. You're piloting that one. Yeah,
could well have been that. Lieutenant Nipira is proof that even the most seemingly insignificant character has a name in the Star Wars universe. The fresh-faced young pilot stood in front of Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, during A New Hope's Death Star briefing. Is known as Lieutenant Nipira. Really? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Better yet, despite there being virtually no information published about the character in expanded universe lore, he even has his own damn action figure.
Really?
Because you would have thought you'd gone for like, Angus McKinn's first, wouldn't you? What's his name? Rogue. Which is he? Which one's Angus McKinn's? Rogue.
Not sure.
Is it? I can't
they
remember
don't call
number.
it. You mean Red, not Rogue, don't you?
Oh yeah. Red. The call sign Red. Simply Red.
That's terrible that none of us can remember his number.
Yes.
Well, I only know Luke. Red 5.
Red 5.
Yeah. Anyway, the character received.
He's Red 3, isn't he?
Red 3.
Red 2, Red 3, pull in, got him. That's the line in my head. I think he's Red 3.
Could be. He's. Yeah, he could be. Could be right. The character received renewed attention last year after a Redditor noted how much the actor looked like he could be the offspring of Anakin and Padme, far more so than Luke himself, in fact.
Oh, yeah. Like an 80s version of...
Yeah, he's never been identified. Because there's, most of the people in the briefing room seen who have been able to sign have signed, but yeah. Sadly, the actor uncredited and received currently and remains currently unidentified, but his resemblance to both Christensen, especially Portman, is pretty uncanny. With the recent spotlight shone on the character, one can hope the word might get the actor to come forward at some point. I wonder if these are all ones. Are these all going to be ones that they haven't found? Oh crikey, they must
Could
be.
well be.
Quinlan Voss. Is he related to the guy from
Solo?
My favorite Star Wars film. Quinlan Voss made his first appearance in Phantom Menace as a then unnamed resident of Mos Espa. The character was noted for the yellow streak of paint running across his face. Freedom! And because he managed Adam. Stand and deliver. Your moisture evaporator. Because he managed to stand out by being sat closer to the camera, he soon enough amassed a surprising cult following amongst fans. As a result, he was given the name Quinlan Voss and received a thorough fleshing out in expanded universe media such as the comic series Star Wars Republic.
Oh, yes. There,
There
yes.
you go.
It's all flooding back now.
Makes sense. George Lucas originally planned to include the character in Revenge of the Sith, but the scene was never filmed. He did appear, however, in the Clone Wars animated series and was a central character in the 2015 novel Dark Disciple. Beyond retconning a Phantom Menace extra to have a name, the EU also revealed him to be a Jedi Master working undercover in Mos Espa. In what's sadly common amongst many of Star Wars' greatest extras, the actor who played Quinlan Voss in Phantom Menace remains unidentified. Bloody hell.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that character battles the bounty hunter, Andy, what's he called? blue face, big rimmed hats. Looks like
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane, yeah.
Got ya.
I didn't know he was in Phantom Menace, though. Did not know that.
Yeah. Well, here's another one. Much like Quinlan Voss, Aura Singh is a character who originally made an anonymous one-off appearance in Phantom Menace, showing it literally for 2 seconds during the movie's pod race sequence. But due to passionate fans begging to know more about the unique-looking bounty hunter, she was given a name and developed into a fleshed-out character in her own right. As it turns out, she was initially created after George Lucas insisted that there be more distinct characters featured in the pod race sequence, with model Mishone Borak ultimately being hired to play the part. Aura reappeared in Clone Wars animated series voiced by Jamie King, as well as numerous Star Wars comics, before it was revealed in Solo's A Star Wars Story that she had been killed by Tobias Beckett, Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, Woody kills her off screen.
That's quite the impressive amount of knowledge for a character who appeared in a Star Wars movie for a mere blink of an eye. Bit like Admiral Akbar. So, oh yeah, this guy, I have a feeling that this guy they found.
Yeah, as a Frenchman, wasn't he?
They only found him after he died.
Yeah, that's right.
They found his family or something, and it wasn't that long ago. They were trying to get him for ages. BeauCheck is a smuggler and pilot for hire who appeared for mere seconds in A New Hope. Iconic Mos Eisley cantina scene. Obi-Wan is seen attempting to hire BeauCheck for a transport to the Alderaan system, only for him to reject the job for reasons unknown and instead recommended Chewbacca. He's an extremely important character in the grand scheme of things, putting Obi-Wan and Luke in touch with Chewie and Han Solo, Harrison Ford, and so beginning a small but significant part in the shaping of the future galaxy. He appears on screen for mere seconds, but his pivotal role in the series earned him both an action figure and the respect of fans worldwide, enough that they yearned to identify the uncredited actor who played him. Almost 40 years after the film was released, the mystery was finally solved thanks to the dogged efforts of investigative journalist Billy Jensen. Jensen was eventually contacted by the family of the actor in question, Francis Alfred Basil Tomlin, who were able to formally confirm his place in Star Wars history. Sadly, Tomlin passed away in 2004 at the age of 66. What a shame. He could have signed up a real storm. Sam L. Jackson, blatant stand-in. That's
Ahmed Best.
That looks like Ahmed Best.
It does look Ahmed Best, yeah.
Extras don't get more ridiculous than this. At the end of The Phantom Menace, where Palpatine, Ian McDonough, is elected Chancellor and greets Padme, eagle-eyed fans notice that Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson, looks a bit different than usual. For whatever reason, most likely Jackson being unable to attend reshoots, Windu is actually played by a stand-in who, beyond being a black man in Windu's distinctive robe, doesn't really look much like Jackson at all. Considering how easy it would have been to disguise Windu amidst the crowd, or just not even show him on screen, which is a good point, at all, is a bizarre move and one that's all the more noticeable on recent high-resolution releases of the film. Though the film's critics do list stand-ins for star Hayden Christensen, Natalie Portman, Ewan McGregor, and Liam Neeson, no such stand-in is listed for Jackson, strangely. That's because it's Ahmed Best. I just thought it was Ahmed Best playing some other Jedi.
I did too.
I never realised that it was supposed to be.
No, I didn't. It is a strange move. That.
Maybe they fudged that a bit.
You know that guy in the cantina then? Have you seen Loki, the TV show?
No.
So basically there's a joke meme going around about the Nexus event, and people have been doing it with Star Wars, and some of them are quite funny. Like people say, what was if Loki does something different, it creates a new Loki in a parallel universe, the multiverse theory. Every option, everything you do has a reaction, etc. So people have been saying, what was your Nexus event? And to that guy, it's like, I took Obi-Wan to Alderaan, would be the joke in that one.
Right.
Yeah.
There's some good ones. Qui-Gon, what was your Nexus event? I went to another junk dealer. Stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. Destiny, man.
Yeah.
So number 4, Constable
Zuvio.
going on pure cinematic appearance alone, Constable Zuvio really shouldn't be noticeable at all. But the Kyuzo lawman who appears in The Force Awakens for literal fractions of a second was originally supposed to have a more significant role. Zuvio became a fan favorite among character long before Star Wars The Force Awakens was even released due to action figures behind the scenes set photos showing off the character's unique design, as well as his appearance in the short story High Noon on Jakku. Many were disappointed when Zuvio's larger role during the Nema outpost chase on Jakku was left on the cutting room floor. Originally intended to help Rey and Finn escape from Unka Plot, Simon Pegg, his role was cleaved down to just 7 frames visible in the final cut.
Rey doesn't need help, that's why they cut him.
But ultimately, this only caused the fandom to grow more fond of Zuvio, who has enjoyed quite the fan art and cosplay following ever since. Do you know, I'm sure I need to know who played that, because I feel like it might be somebody that I've met.
Naturally.
Naturally, yeah. Let's have a look. Actor.
Josh Fadem.
Maybe not then. Is that him?
Can't tell. He's not got his Zuvio mask on.
Yeah. There you go. I could have sworn I'd seen like somebody signing for him, but I don't recognise that other guy. Anyway, there you go. Shall we have a look at number 3?
Hey.
George Lucas.
Fantastic. Don't be blue, George. Needless to say, I had final cut. Now fuck off.
And that was his daughter as well, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Baron not Lewinsky, Papanoida. Though George Lucas has generally kept himself firmly behind the camera in the Star Wars franchise, he finally relented and gave himself a cameo in Revenge of the Sith. At the start of the operatic sequence where Palpatine tells Anakin about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, 2 distinctive blue-faced aliens can be seen talking outside the entrance to the building. The male one is indeed George Lucas himself, sure to be spotted by only the hardcore fans. Though Lucas played the part uncredited, his character's name was later confirmed to be Baron not Lewinsky, not related to Bush's love affair, Papanoida, and he eventually appeared in the Clone Wars episode Sphere of Influence. I did not have sexual relations with that alien. The woman standing next to the Baron, meanwhile, was his daughter, Senator Ikwe Papanoida, aptly played by George Lucas's own daughter, Katie. You got to hand it to him. He always comes up with the names goods, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
The names.
She had a line in the deleted scene as well.
Did she?
Oh yeah.
She leans over to Padme and says, "Patience, Senator."
Oh yes, that's right.
That's Katie Lucas.
Right.
There you go.
And you know George's son Jet is the kid who gets shot in Order 66.
Yes. Jet Lucas. Yeah. He does Celebration fairly.
Does he?
Yeah, he does signings at Celebration and stuff. I've never met the dude, but yeah, he's a bit regular at Celebration stuff.
Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. So number 2, Koi Matil, perhaps the most fascinating, mysterious Star Wars extra of all time. In the very same scene as Lucas. Mere seconds earlier, a beautiful female Twi'lek can be seen walking the steps of the Opera House wearing a low-cut dress, which immediately brought her to the attention of many fans. Immediately brought her to the attention.
What does that mean? What does that even mean?
I don't know, but I certainly think she's been cosmetically enhanced to bring that attention. You're
talking about the things, aren't you?
The things, yes. I'm talking.
They've got a name, haven't they? Laku or something, is it?
Her Twi'leks. Her Twi'leks, yes.
Call them tentacles.
Her Twi'leks. Mere seconds earlier.
Head tails.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Michael, tell me about the Twi'leks.
Tell me about the lady Twi'leks. A reference book released in 2005 referred to her as Koi Matil, and she has since been a popular cosplay character due to her unique look. Unique New York, despite no further information ever being released about who she is. In spite of all the online curiosity about the actress who played Koi, she played the part uncredited, and even with the reference books providing a clear glimpse of the actress, she remains unidentified to this very day, as perhaps making her only more alluring to fans.
You know, if I was in a Star Wars movie and I had a bit part where I'm on the screen for like 2 seconds, like these people were, I would make myself known because people want to meet you. You're in a Star Wars freaking movie, you know. It's one of those. It's like
we know that you can make a few quid.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Sure. You know,
I didn't know about this one. The rebel officer wearing platform shoes.
No, I didn't either.
That's fantastic.
It was the 70s, man.
Yeah, they were like, bring your own shoes, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Your own shoes, it'll be fine.
They had to put him on the front row as well.
It was actually Elton John, wasn't it? Like, he had big glasses on as well.
Oh dear. He was a rocket rebel.
Yeah. Rocket Man!
The glory of watching Star Wars movies in 4K. I can't believe they've not mentioned Derek Lyons, who's just up here somewhere.
Oh, that's terrible.
And Nick Joseph.
Yeah.
So, the glory of watching Star Wars movies in 4K is let us soak in every last sliver of visual detail, and also notice that an extra is randomly wearing platform shoes for some reason. That's right, during New York's climatic Rebel celebration, keep an eye out for the Rebel officer to the right-hand side of the screen. When Nick Cannon and Leia climb down the steps, the Rebels turn in formation, and for a second you can see that one of the officers is wearing platforms. Fantastic. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
The peculiarity was first noticed by Redditor many years ago and gets brought up again every so often. I had no idea about this.
No.
As fans speculate on exactly why this extra, who is by no means a short man, ended up wearing platform shoes to boost his height. Did the costume team just run out of regular shoes or something? It's so incredible. It's so incredibly strange. And of course, the man in question is neither credited nor has ever stepped forward. Well, you wouldn't fucking step forward in them now, would you?
He's stepping up.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. Imagine being platform shoes rebel.
Rebel.
Yeah, rebel.
Yeah. That's brilliant. I'm going to have to look out for that one. I'm going to watch Star Wars now when I go downstairs.
Surprised George didn't change that in one of his many releases.
I know,
yeah, exactly. Stick some star glasses on him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised like everyone.
Make them glittery.
Yeah.
Put a piano in front of him.
That's it. Well, I'm surprised, like, unlike everyone else these days, he hasn't been deplatformed yet. That was too easy.
That was too easy. It was there. In the. I saw it, but I let it go, and then you grabbed it.
No, I couldn't let that one go, I'm afraid. Okie dokie. So, are we going to talk about the return of Luke Skywalker? Yeah, next. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I think this would count as. There he is.
Wait.
Right, so go on. You guys go first on your reaction. Did you watch it this morning?
I watched it this morning, yeah.
I squeezed it in this morning.
Yeah. No, I was at work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched it this morning. No. No, I watched it when I came home from work.
Lovely.
Had to, you know.
Go.
Yeah, no, it was a great episode. I loved it. I loved what I was seeing, hearing. Things I didn't even realize were digital effects.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which I'll mention now, but probably come around to again, that his voice was all
Yeah. I had
special
no idea
effects.
about that. That's mental.
It
That's
is.
like some AI thing I've never even heard of.
Well,
I mean, I know, Andy. You've like shown us this before, where you played us some audio,
yeah,
and it sounds like Jordan Peterson,
yeah.
but it
That's the
ain't Jordan Peterson.
technology.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's
I
crazy.
don't remember that. When did you play as that?
It was about 2 years ago.
Right.
Something like that. Thing is, when The Mandalorian aired, I knew it was that technology. I could hear it. I could hear it
Right.
working. And
Could
once you try to make it yourself, you can hear what it's doing. It blends like the N and the O together, and it's the beginning and the end of the words where you can pick up how it's working. When Luke says, I am, you can feel the attack on I is a little bit like crossfaded and too smooth. It doesn't have the attack that I would.
Okay.
And it does feel like
this is your trained musical
I
ear.
can't help it. Yeah,
work,
so I kind of heard it. I still thought it was brilliant. It didn't distract me.
It was very good.
It was, but I knew it was that splicing of AI and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm kind of surprised. Like, yes, obviously they have that technology and they can use that, but
sound like.
I know listening to Hamill now, particularly on that, he vocally he sounded older than he did in recent in like interviews a couple of years ago, didn't he?
Yeah,
he sounds poorly actually to me.
His voice sounded a bit scratchy, didn't it? But
is he still smoking? He's still a smoker, isn't he?
I doubt it. I mean,
I wouldn't thought so. No,
I doubt. I mean, they all were, weren't they?
Yeah, I've seen fairly recent images of him.
Oh, right.
Honest. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, this is going back to when the sequels were
really
being made. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I wonder if it's anyway, let's not talk about himself.
No.
That's rude. But
exactly.
what I mean is, I'm surprised that they wouldn't just take his voice and do something. You know, his voice now reading the lines and do something with that, like treat that to maybe bring the pitch up or smooth it out, like use it in conjunction with that technology. Because basically what you said was that they took his voices from the radio drama, some interviews. And all three of the films from around that period.
Yeah.
And it uses them as a blend to do it. So I'm surprised they just didn't get him to read the dialogue as well and then use that as part of the. Do you know what I mean? Use that as part of the process.
I think de-aging the audio would be difficult if possible. I don't think it's possible. I think it'd be worse than what they've done, to be honest. I think they went with the right option.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised actually, Brian. Yeah, they're gonna have to do something there unless it's just like a silent thing.
I think that's probably they probably will do that. I should imagine. I mean, it's if they want to get the voice exactly like a younger version's voice, then yeah, it seems to be the way to go. And that technology is only going to get better, exactly like the deepfake technology that Jon Favreau was talking about in this episode.
Yeah,
where, just coming back to that, it's not going to be that they want to make Val Kilmer sound younger. It's the fact that he can't speak really anymore, isn't it?
Good point. Yeah.
It's so they'll probably get. They could probably take some stuff from one of his last films and then use that or whatever.
Yeah.
By the way, that documentary that's about to come out of him looks amazing.
Is it not out yet?
Heartbreaking as well. Is it out? I don't know. Is it hit? Is it hit?
I think it might be out in some territories. I'm not sure if it's out here yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet.
What
anyway, going.
Is that Netflix?
I feel like it might
Netflix.
be. I feel like it might be Amazon, not Netflix.
Okay.
Could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, one of them.
One of them. So coming back to the deepfake, because I've got some stuff to say about this.
Yeah. So in this episode, there was obviously somebody there working on deepfake Luke Skywalker, by the looks of it, all along. But they decided to go another route. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Why didn't they go deepfake? It looks so much better.
Yes.
I don't know. I was toying with this in my head. I was like, you know, when they first do it, I'm like, oh, that looks like Luke in Jedi. And then a few seconds later, it's so static. I'm like, no, it don't work.
Yeah, yeah. And when he says, when he gets asked, are you a Jedi? And he answers, I am.
His eyes don't move at all.
His eyes don't move,
weird.
and
when
the
he's
mouth
looking looks kind of weird. That when
his
he's
top
looking
lip
down.
is just so static and all this sort of stuff. And the deep fake stuff works incredibly well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like Favreau just went, oh, let's just go the easier route and what we've been doing with
Brian's
the
saying
de-aging.
The documentary is incredible. It's out in the US, not here.
Right, okay.
Look forward to it. Yeah, I mean, well, one thing I'd never seen how it looks, the process of deepfake. Like, so what freaked me out at first when it shows them doing the deepfake of Luke Skywalker, and there's like and it's not quite a square, is it? It's almost like a
round,
like a hexagonal shape over it, where all the the face work is going on underneath.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, this is like Luke Skywalker is in what's his name? What's his name's June. It looked like June, the thing in June where the fighting in those.
Yeah.
Got those things where they press it on the watch and they get covered in a box where they're fighting.
Yeah.
Like a digital box. It looks like kind of like Tron. It looked just like that. I was like, fucking hell.
I mean, obviously that's raw deep fake footage.
Yeah, of course,
cleaned up digitally afterwards.
But looking at that, I thought I actually preferred even that.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the DA's thing.
Because I mean, at the end,
didn't fuse the two. But I mean, clearly they stood up and took notice, didn't they? Because it's a shame they didn't kind of address it in that documentary. Because I felt like, I mean, of course, they need to give the guy credit because he was sat there in the room messing with the deep flake for ages and stuff like that. Then they did it and they put it out. Then somebody did it on the internet and made it look better, and they decided to go back to it and improve it. And then they hired the guy.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a brilliant thing that they did there, and it's a really cool story. That I mean, for me, that would have, and because of with Favreau talking about the fandom and how integral it is, and Hamill talking about it very passionately.
I was going to say,
I'd be like that. That's like, but that would be the perfect bookend to.
Yeah, definitely.
To that documentary, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was kind of weird that they didn't cover that, unless obviously the documentary thing was wrapped up before they made that decision. Maybe it was in the can already. I don't know.
I think going forward, I think deep fakes the way they're going to go, rather than this de-aging technology. I think
it looks better.
Definitely going to push it. But there's also, I mean, Favreau was talking about, like, he was basically giving you a warning, wasn't he? He's like, this technology is going to get better. It's going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to tell. It's going to look the real deal. And he's advocating for like media companies, social media companies as well. There needs to be some sort of watermark on videos to make them legit. Like he was talking about that chain code sort of stuff, wasn't he? Which that's the way it's going to go, because you're not going to be able to tell if a video is legit or not. If the President of the United States of America giving a speech is actually the President of the United States of America giving a speech. Is it legit?
I said this, didn't I? A while ago, like that. That's the problem with it. And
because it's readily available.
If you want to get conspiratorial for a minute, they always say that what we are seeing now, was developed 20 years or 30 years before.
I mean, that's things. Yeah,
they could have nailed deep fake. Like, it's now in the public domain. They could have deep fake. 12.3.
Well, I mean,
somewhere, and it
maybe, but
completely flawless.
It takes a lot of compute power, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I'd say.
But I mean, it's a fundamental thing about everything, though, isn't it? About where we are in the technological realm. About whether, all to do with like social media and deplatforming with people, and all this fact checking stuff that's appearing on Facebook and Twitter now, and these pop ups and things, and comments disappearing and all that kind of stuff. Things are, technology's moving on. Was it a thing you said? Was it what's his name? Tesla, the Tesla guy.
Yes.
Elon Musk.
He
came out the other day and said that he's not far away from putting a robot out or something.
A robot, yeah.
Like a humanoid.
Yeah, this made me laugh. He's like, yeah, we're developing this robot, and you probably be able to overpower it. I don't want probably. I want definitely. It's like,
yeah, coming from a scientist, probably you wouldn't really trust that, would you? Yeah, they don't really deal in probablys, do they?
We're going to end up in iRobot territory here, aren't we?
Yeah. So Brian's been back on to say they now employed one of the deepfake pioneers who made the superior Luke Skywalker. Yeah. I wonder if it embarrassed Lucasfilm and they didn't want to admit it. I don't know, maybe, but it's out there in the public realm, isn't it?
Yeah.
It seems weird to not just address it then.
I get the impression Jon Favreau wouldn't be embarrassed by it. He seems like a really down to earth kind of guy who's like, yeah, we hired him. He was really good. That's what I'd expect him to say. Where, Kathleen Kennedy, on the other hand, I think, she'd probably be a bit snotty about it. I don't know, but
the thing is, I don't think with Lucasfilm, watching that documentary this morning, they've really tried to get that right.
They have.
They've really.
Oh yeah.
I really didn't expect the whole episode to be featured so much on that. I'm glad it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very illuminating and
that
admirable.
one episode. Yeah, I'm sure that they put more effort into the character of Luke Skywalker in that scene than they did in the entire sequel trilogy. That was Luke Skywalker in that scene.
Oh, you mean like the character?
The character.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say there was a lot more money spent on Luke in the sequels, but you mean the actual character?
Yeah. I'm on about the actual character and the thought going.
And he was only on screen for
process
2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It kind of. It also felt like, it felt a little bit like they were doing it for Hamill too, didn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, they definitely had his. They wanted his input, most definite.
Yeah,
and they wanted him there in the outfit, and I think that was also for the fans.
Yeah.
They want, this episode. I felt was for the fans who were disappointed with that film. Back in 2017, was it 17?
I mean, it's not out of the realms of possibility that
we actually get to see Mark Hamill in his Jedi gear again with a lightsaber.
Yeah, I think it meant a lot to him as well.
Yeah, definitely.
That come across in the interviews, didn't it?
Especially people's reactions.
Yeah, which they forwarded to Mark Hamill to see.
I mean, I don't know. He seemed a little bit surprised.
Plus, his Twitter will have lit up.
Well, this is Echo Base Network on YouTube. They got a share from Mark Hamill because they put a compilation video together of all these reactions, and it's obviously what was sent to Mark.
Right.
Yeah, I'm putting two and two together.
Do you remember Mark on Twitter on the day that aired? He said, "Anything good on tonight?"
Yeah. I was impressed with him as well, Brian.
I was impressed. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I've always kind of I warmed to the guy anyway. I think I've been a fan of his since. I don't think I never actually saw what was his big break.
The Vegas movie,
Slackers. Is it? No.
Slackers.
Shit, what's it
It's
called?
the one
that?
where they do the road trip to Vegas, isn't it? Vegas,
Yeah.
baby.
That was, and I believe that was the film that influenced Kevin Smith to make Clerks as well.
Oh yeah.
But you see, I didn't see that till kind of years later. The first thing I saw Favreau in was Friends.
Same.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the multi-billionaire, and is he millionaire or billionaire?
Yeah, the one who ends up dating. She doesn't fancy him, and
That's right.
Right.
and then she ends up fancying him.
Trying to remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what his name. I forget what his name is as well. In it, Pete
Becker.
Right.
Pete Becker, the multimillionaire. Yeah. So I saw him.
I'm surprised I
thought
don't
it was-
remember that because they played Friends constantly in New Zealand. I remember it was a final like obviously repeats, but it was the final episode of the final season this one particular night, and me and Lauren are watching it. We're thinking, I wonder what's going to be on tomorrow in its place. The next day, we switch it on. It's episode 1, first season of Friends. Just started it again.
Yeah.
He actually does a Star Wars reference as well in that episode. Well, he's in a few episodes with Monica, isn't he?
Because
Monica
full
goes
size.
back,
Yeah. Go on.
Monica goes back to the apartment and he goes, Chandler, he has everything. And then Chandler goes, life-size Imperial Stormtrooper outfits. And she goes, 2. He goes, can Joey and I wear them and fight each other?
Yeah. So right there. But yeah, I was kind of a fan from there.
Yeah.
And then obviously became a director and stuff. But there's and I imagine I've probably mentioned this before off or on air. Harrison Ford, blah blah blah. Harrison Ford, blah blah blah. There's an interview. It was on the Cowboys and Aliens disc. If you watch the Cowboys and Alien disc, it's on there as an extra. But it is on YouTube it was on YouTube as a separate extra, and it's Favreau interviewing Harrison Ford.
All right.
And I don't know if it's because they work together, but he just seems to get away with saying a lot more stuff to Harrison than your average person would. And they're both laughing a lot. It's a really funny conversation.
Excuse me.
They just basically take the piss out of each other.
Right.
Worth a look at if you've not seen it.
Oh, I'll have a look for that. Yeah.
Was Favreau the director?
Favreau's director, yeah. It was his follow-up from... I think it was his first film. I think it was his first film after Iron Man 2.
Right.
And like 3D was big then. And there was talk that it was going to be 3D. But he decided not to do 3D in the end because of like the stacking of explosions and certain things about the cowboy stuff.
Yeah.
He said he just didn't feel it was going to work and it needed to look like an authentic cowboy movie to have the twist later on. I quite like that film.
Yeah, I own it digitally. I'll have to give it another watch. I've not seen it for years.
Yeah. Give it another spin. It's nice to see Harrison play the kind of, not quite the baddie, but a kind of shady, bit of a shady character. But yeah, all in all, I think well worth a look at if you've not watched it yet.
Yeah.
The Favreau thing.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, Favreau again in this episode, he was definitely passionate for the fans, for the older fans. He said that, didn't he? You know,
yes.
He was saying the character of Luke Skywalker is very important to the fans, especially the older fans. You know, and to be honest with you, it almost felt kind of you deserve this sort of thing, you know, like you guys deserve this. Whether we're going to get more Luke Skywalker in future, I don't know. I'm going to guess yes, we will. Just with something that was said by Filoni in that episode.
About kind of bridge a bit more of the gap into the Jedi Academy or something.
That and Ahsoka. He was basically hinting that Ahsoka was she's a more advanced Jedi than he is at that point in time.
Yeah.
almost his did he say mentor
Senior.
or something like that?
Senior was the word he used.
Senior,
Yeah.
that's the one. Yeah.
Well,
So-
she had years of training from Anakin Skywalker,
So
and then a bit of Yoda, and yeah, so she's way more advanced, I guess, than Luke.
yeah. So I can imagine Luke and Ahsoka having a sort of meet up
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
You know. So whether that's going to happen in the Ahsoka series, well, I think it will. I mean, I think it will.
I hope so. I'm hoping that's what's going to be in this Ahsoka series. I want to see us. Love to see a scene. I know it's fan service as hell, but just to see a scene where Luke asks Ahsoka about his father, about Anakin.
Yeah.
What was he like and stuff? And I'll be like, all the feels.
All the feels. Yes.
That'll be so emotional.
Exactly. Yeah.
And be able to contain
poetic.
Hearing John talk about breaking down on set when R2D2 came in, I was like, that's when I started to tear up.
Yeah, and he was like, I don't know why. I cannot say why this happened to me, and that is so honest, because sometimes that happens with me with these things. You know, it's like, why the fuck am I having this sort of reaction to this scene? You know, I can't understand why. And it's just
so powerful.
The history of that. You know, it's the history of Star Wars, and you as an individual personally that you've grown up with it, and
a lot of people talk about it. Reconnecting with the childhood and make you feel like a child, and that's true for me as well. So I'm guessing that's what it is, and it's just so that feeling is so powerful and strong and true. I don't know. I've always said Star Wars is really powerful, but it resonates so well because the Luke Skywalker story in the original trilogy, it is, for a better phrase, the perfect modern version of the hero's journey.
Yeah,
like I like that Favreau even says, he said Luke looks very different in each one, and they're talking about the deepfake technology, but thematically Luke's different. I mean, I've talked about this before, where he's completely in white at the beginning, then beige in Empire, then completely black.
Yeah,
you know, there's always this there's this assumption in Jedi, wasn't there, when you watch it for the first time, that Luke could go to the dark side. That's
I mean, Favreau mentions that.
Yeah, he says it's totally on the table because George did something very clever. There is another line from Empire, which also in Empire creates more tension, because when he goes to face Vader, it's like, the plot armor won't look after Luke because there's another. Obviously, it turns out to be Leia, and that's why I think it's just a perfect story, because it takes away it just adds more tension, and you end up caring for Luke more than you would have done had they not done that.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's obviously, I think it's all three of our favorite version of the hero's journey. But
definitely,
he took what's that guy called? Joseph Campbell's book. It's called The Hero of a Thousand Faces. And that's essentially where it all comes from. So The Hero of a Thousand Faces is, I don't know if you know this, but George majored in anthropology, not film. He went to do film later on. He was interested in mythology and how the same ideas occur through mythology and religions throughout the world. And Joseph Campbell researched that and put it into his book, Hero of a Thousand Faces. That's how you get Luke Skywalker, this archetypal hero. And I feel like when you get to Return of the Jedi, like Luke was saying, Mark Hamill has said this for years, hasn't he? The James Bond, I've got my license to kill, and now you won't see me kill.
Yeah,
I'm like, that is the case, but it would impinge on that great trilogy that we got if they fed that into there.
Yeah,
but now we're kind of getting hints of it in The Mandalorian. It's fantastic. But Luke changes so much. Like Mark's performance in A New Hope to Empire to Jedi is so different, and not that much time has passed. I think 4 to 5 is about 3 years, maybe less. But Empire to Jedi is a lot shorter. It may be 3 months. But
there's a lot of growing as a character.
It's technically in the old EU that if you watch the movies, it doesn't tell you. So Disney could change that now. How
well they could do, Yeah.
Because it always bothered me. Like, I'm sorry, but Han Solo was the hero of The Empire Strikes Back. I know it's meant to be Luke, but I'm sorry, but Han's the one that saves everybody and semi-sacrifices himself for Leia and Chewie and Luke, etc. And then they take 3 months to go and rescue him.
Yeah.
But then when you read the novel of Return of the Jedi, the Empire was waiting at Tatooine for the Alliance to turn up.
Ah, okay.
There was an Imperial fleet hidden above Tatooine. That's what the original plan was for Jedi. That was the tension, that Luke couldn't go to Tatooine because Vader and the Emperor would know he was there. So they had to sneak into Jabba's palace and infiltrate, which is what they do in the film.
Exactly.
And you know when they escape in the Falcon and Luke's X-Wing, the original plan was there. They have to get past the Imperial fleet. So we're not out of the woods yet, kid.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's a great story. I wish they would have done that in Return of the Jedi instead of what we got.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on Return of the Jedi, but it is a lot weaker compared to the 4 and 5 for me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Until you get to the throne room at the end with Luke and Vader and the Emperor.
That's perfect.
That's peak Star Wars.
It definitely is.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, back to Luke. He what was interesting, back to the deepfake, he looks so different, and I didn't realize until they start showing, like, even Luke on Endor versus Luke in the Rebel fleet 2 scenes ago looks completely different with the lighting, and that's what they said about Gareth Edwards on Rogue One said with Grand Moff Tarkin, they'd get like one still of him in CG and they'd be like, yeah, that looks like Peter Cushing, that's great. And then as soon as they move his head a little bit and change the light, and like, right now, he doesn't look like him. And they said it's got to look like him 360, like wherever we put a light, it's got to look like him. And that was the difficulty of doing Leia and Grand Moff Tarkin on Rogue One. But they were completely CG. There was no. Was it deepfake? No, it wasn't deepfake.
No, it's all CG.
They had to CG. What people don't realize is Guy Henry's playing Tarkin, doing the voice.
Yeah.
He's actually on set with the headgear and everything. They had
but they didn't use it.
They had to put the dots on his face and CGI him, then layer Grand Moff Tarkin on top. It's a hell of a lot of work. I mean, it gets a lot of people say, "Oh, it looks terrible," and I'm like, I feel sorry for the artists. That must have took so much time.
Yeah.
I thought I was blown away by. When we watched that first time.
Do you remember hearing the gasp in the cinema when he turned around?
I couldn't believe it. I was
blown
like,
away.
"Oh my god!" You
Absolutely
know,
blown away.
Leia, on the other hand, at the end,
wasn't that good.
No. That was very.
It felt like they'd spunked all the budget on the Grand Moff Tarkin. Just kind of gone, how much have we got left for Leia, kind of thing.
I've got a couple of quid. What do you reckon?
Well, we know that entire ending was rewritten last minute, wasn't it?
That's the point. Yeah.
But
do you know when Paddy was just talking about that?
Go on.
One sec before we move off this. Paddy was talking about when Grand Moff Tarkin spins around. If you listen carefully in the music, they do like it's so cheesy. When you hear it now, you're gonna be like, that's really cliche. But there's a gong that goes in the background.
Is there?
So as soon as Tarkin spins around, it goes. I'm like, that's really cliche, classic sort of
villain
Saturday matinee serial kind of scores. Of the early days, but that's what Star Wars is.
That's what Star Wars is. We need more of that. We need more of that. You know, in my opinion.
I'm happy with that. When Vader walks in the original shot and it goes boom, da-da, it's like he's the villain. I love that shit. It's brilliant. Sorry, Paddy. Go
on. I was just saying, coming back around to the deepfake thing, and you showed me this the other night, was that obviously the guy had done the Luke Skywalker thing. It was the same guy, wasn't it? Was it the same guy that redid Grand Moff Tarkin with deepfake?
Oh, John Knoll.
You showed it me.
I did.
Somebody on YouTube has done Grand Moff Tarkin in with deepfake, like works on.
Oh yeah, we watched it on the show together, didn't we? You pulled up the video.
Oh, we watched it on the show. You're right. Absolutely. Yeah. Way better.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen it. Was I on that?
No, you went on the show.
Right.
We did it. It was a month ago. It was the last one we did. It's been a month,
Is it? You're joking? Yeah,
28th of July we did the last show.
You'd been absolutely donkey stoned that day, and
then you were on holiday.
You were in bed. Oh, and then you're on holiday, and I was on holiday as well. I've been to Wales and stuff, so all good. Okay, so
Tarkin's eyes looked a lot. It was a massive improvement.
It's the eyes that make the deep fake thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
And in the Mandalorian gallery episode, the music. It's the only episode with original trilogy theme music.
Do you know? Just before Favreau says, I thought he was going to say any of John Williams' themes. I'm like, wrong, but he means original trilogy music. That's true. I think that is true. The only theme we've had is March of the Resistance from Force Awakens. But yeah, it's the Force theme.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is it's in your face, isn't it?
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah. It had to be.
It had to be done for Luke Skywalker.
It helps.
I mean, it's they're absolutely scared of Luke Skywalker, aren't they? They don't.
Who is?
The filmmakers. It's like I won't say scared, but they're treating that. Well, it seems like they're treating that character with respect now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they did a few years ago. I don't think obviously JJ didn't know what to do with the character, so he passed the baton on to the next guy.
Don't forget the co-writer of Force Awakens is Lawrence Kasdan. Lawrence always wanted to. We didn't know this at the time. Lawrence always wanted to kill off Luke in Return of the Jedi, and George wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
So
because
who wanted to kill off
George
Luke?
Kasdan.
George wanted Star Wars to be a fairy tale with a happy ending, which is what Favreau and Filoni want as well, by the sounds of it, with what they're saying.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what we got treated with in the sequels with these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why we've had a fan backlash, so to speak. I think now, I know Kathleen Kennedy's still there, and a lot of people aren't happy with her still, but I feel as if she's very hands-off with this project, and it's going in the right direction. I really feel like it is. The books
mentions it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sings the praises.
He has to. She's still there. She's his boss still, So, I mean, that's all. I'd only expect that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I have to say blew me away about the gallery episode was that I saw Dave Filoni without a hat. I saw Dave Filoni's hair.
That's true. That's
the
true.
First time I've ever seen Dave Filoni's hair.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
No cowboy hat, black sort of greyish curly hair.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look, it's Dave Filoni's head. That's weird.
It is weird.
Not used to that. Yeah. It was good. It was good.
No, it's very good. Very good.
I think he looks a bit better without the hat. Maybe it's just because he always seems to become attached with the hat. I don't know. I was just like, oh, look, he's got a head and everything. That's brilliant. Well done, Dave.
Well done, Dave.
We got a load of Filoni.
Yeah.
We finally got a load of Filoni. Right, okay. Should we move along now?
I don't think we've got time to do that other thing, Paddy. It'll take too long.
Have we not?
I think we'll do that on another episode.
We'll do
next
that on
episode.
Because we're on an hour and 15 already.
We are. It probably will be a big chunky thing. And we did want to spend a lot of time on Luke Skywalker. So
yeah,
he deserves it.
We will save that. Do you want to talk about
Have we finished talking about this yet?
What about Luke Skywalker?
Yeah, the episode. Have you said everything that you want to say?
I think I've said everything I want to say. Have you got more to say? By all means, go. By all means, go.
At the end of the episode, this is just my music thing kicking in. Just before they said like the future, and then it shows the shot of Grogu and Luke going into the elevator, and then it ends and says Disney blah blah blah.
Oh yes.
what you're watching. Listen carefully. The music is the Boba Fett theme from season 2 of Mandalorian, but like a brand
It
new
is.
version. I've never heard that before.
Oh
no, it's that.
Isn't it that?
It's that. I can't impersonate the noise, but do you know when Boba Fett appears?
Yeah.
Want my armor back, all that stuff. He that music that's there. I think it's maybe the theme. They were hinting at the theme of the Book of Boba Fett.
Right. Oh, you heard it
But
here first.
I was like, oh, is Luke gonna show up in Book of Boba Fett?
Yes.
Mm.
And that's the clue. They're leaving you. It's a breadcrumb.
Maybe. I must say, I'm glad. Part of me was annoyed we've had to wait for this episode, but it's very clear from watching it that they had to keep it secret. And, you know, Ahsoka leaked, Boba Fett leaked. We all knew that was happening. How they kept that secret, it's like hats off to them. Hats off to them for doing the episode, of course, but how did you keep that under wraps? Well,
I know, because
they do show...
Plo Koon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Dave's favourite Jedi.
Yeah. Do you think Plo Koon will ever come back then?
He dies in Revenge of the Sith.
I know. Well, you see him in the fighter.
Oh yeah, eject button.
Exactly. You know, he could have crash landed or ejected or whatever. You know, yeah.
Well, people will have it that Mace Windu's dead.
No, I know.
When I watched Revenge of the Sith, I immediately thought, yeah, Mace is gone.
The guy who played Plo Koon is the guy who played what's his name in episode 1, but then was cut. What's he called? Iwanawanga.
Bib Fortuna.
Remember, I've told this story about how they reshot Bib Fortuna and stuff.
All right.
So it's the same guy who played Plo Koon. Alan somebody. We don't get on very
Matthew
well,
Wood plays in
All right.
One of my few falling outs with the Star Wars people.
Oh dear.
So there you go.
Dave actually dressed up as Plo Koon during the Revenge of the Sith premiere.
That's right. Yeah.
He'd been working on it for ages. He just absolutely loves Star Wars.
Yeah. Actually, when you know, the PlayStation 1, when the episode 1 game came out.
Yeah.
You could choose a character, and Plo Koon, I think, was one of them. And yeah, I think that was one of my favorite characters to play.
Was that Jedi Power Battles?
That's the one, yeah.
Do you remember Adi Gallia in Jedi Power Battles had a red lightsaber? I'm like, what the fuck?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, she has a red lightsaber. I'm like, you can't have that.
Sith!
George says, good guys are green and blue, bad guys are red. That's just the way it is. That's what he told Sam Jackson.
Yeah. What about purple?
No, you might get purple.
There you go.
Yeah, it was a good game, that. Good game.
Yeah, it was.
Good game.
It came out very quickly after the Phantom Menace video game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that game. A lot of the unreleased Phantom Menace music leaked through that game.
Is that right?
Yeah, some of the like bootlegs that fans have made are from that. But the problem is that it's the lowest quality MP3 ever, so it sounds awful.
Yeah.
Alan Rusco.
There you go.
You don't like the Allens, the Alan Tudyk, Alan Rusco.
Well, that's not entirely true because I do love Alan Austin.
Okay.
And Alan Partridge.
Oh,
Alan Partridge. Is there another Alan? And Alan.
Alan Dean Foster,
the author. Splinter of the Mind's Eye. No. Alan, who died recently, who was
Rickman.
No, he was many roles in Star Wars. He was like he was prototype Boba Fett. He was the body for Cabinet and Solo. He was the bounty hunter that looks like a big lizard. I can't come up with any of the names today. You did a focus on.
He was Bosk.
Bosk, yeah. Alan Harris.
Alan Harris.
Oh.
Alan Harris I liked as well. I'm just trying to think if there's any other Alans. Not Alan Rickman, because sadly he never did Star Wars, did he?
Obviously.
Obviously.
He would have been a. He would have been a.
He would have
could've
been.
put-
He would have been on the Death Star, wouldn't he? In one of them.
Oh,
outfits.
yeah, definitely.
Imagine him as General Hux instead.
That would have been way better.
A little bit less shouty.
The problem is he looks too. He just looked like Kylo Ren's dad, and Kylo Ren's dad's meant to be Han Solo.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah.
Too similar a look.
It would have been. It would have been. It would have been fun to see a very young Alan Rickman do. Not that we'd ever want to replace him, but Admiral Piet. It would have been very funny to see a young Alan Rickman play Admiral Piet, don't you think?
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Piet, you fool.
Yeah, yeah. It's an older code, sir, but it does check out.
I was about to clear them.
Yeah. I was about to clear them.
Clear them.
I'd love to see.
Obviously.
Obviously. That'd be so good. That'd be so good. Mr. Takagi will not be joining us for the rest of his life.
It always troubled me that scene in Jedi. Like Vader's just stood looking out the window at Endor and the Death Star. And he's just like walking up saying, "Does that shuttle have a code clearance?" I'm like, has this guy got nothing better to do?
No.
Obviously, I know the story point is that he can sense Luke Skywalker and everything, but I'm like, is this what he does when he's not chasing down Luke Skywalker? Just it's like, so
Just chills on the bridge.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Have you seen that thing in Family Guy where Darth Vader walks past?
Have you been
And then-
for lunch yet?
I love the peanut arrabbiata. You'll need a tray. Doing the
Oh, it's hot. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I apologize. Yeah, there's a scene in something Dark Side, the Family Guy, where Vader walks past, like he does in Empire Strikes Back, and there's two officers there, and they just shuffle some papers and goes, "Oh, Empire stuff, lots of Empire stuff to do. Oh, Empire business.
Yeah.
Look busy, the boss is here."
Yeah.
You would. You 100% would.
So, what's next for Star Wars?
So Book of Boba Fett is the Star Wars Visions.
It's all happening in 2022, isn't it?
Oh no, have we not got Book of Boba Fett this year?
Oh, is it this year?
It says December, yeah.
Oh,
Practically
all right.
next year, isn't it?
We've got Star Wars. We've got Star Wars Visions as well, haven't we?
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
we really care about that.
I'll give it I might give it mind you, I've not even watched any of
I've
this.
not watched the trailer yet.
Oh, I saw it briefly on my phone.
I quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed the trailer.
I like that animation though. I like that Japanese style of animation, I do.
But the original Clone Wars was Japanese animation, wasn't it? The 2003 version. I really enjoyed that. So Star Wars Visions may be good.
Yeah. I still need to finish off watching The Bad Batch.
And did
I've
the
not
original
watched one episode past episode 4 yet. So
didn't that get decanned? Can you not get it? The original.
Dave Filoni did
Wars.
something quite respectful in his season 7. It goes before and during and beyond Revenge of the Sith. His Star Wars Clone Wars season 7, and he acknowledges that story and he allows them both to coexist.
Cool.
So basically, most of what happens in that Clone Wars can still happen in thingy, but technically it's not canon. No,
right,
it's not on Disney Plus, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
It's under the Ewok films and everything.
Oh, is it there?
Yeah, it's underneath that. Star Wars Vintage, do they call it?
Vintage stuff, yeah.
Star Wars Vintage.
Yeah, it's under there, both seasons.
It is cool that they embrace the
older stuff.
The Ewok movies, but again, it just begs the question: why not just stick the fucking
holiday special? Yeah,
just bang it on there.
Yeah,
Have you seen that clip on Conan where they play it to Harrison Ford, a scene of it?
Yeah.
He's just not happy at all.
Get that off the screen.
Yeah, he's not happy.
No.
Did the finger come out?
I think he, yeah. I think he puts on a bit more rage than I think he puts on some rage for comic effect. But
I do as well. Yeah.
I don't think he's mega impressed either, though. I mean, I think he just liked to. I think he probably either forgot or likes to forget that it ever happened. So somebody, least of all, to watch it, and he's just like, oh.
When he's like looking at the Wookiees and saying, "You're like family to me," it's like, and then it zooms in on, is it Marla or Lala? It's like, awful, in it.
Yeah, really bad.
Mark Hamill said,
"What were they thinking?"
Oh, I know.
Mark Hamill
says
an impressive amount of guy liner in that particular film.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He said, the celebration in 2016 in the UK.
Yeah.
He said on that one, stick the holiday, release the holiday special.
Yeah.
He was like, he was for it, and I was like, that surprises me.
Well, I don't think he cares. Does he?
It was a brilliant Q&A. It was a brilliant Q&A, that.
Yeah.
I've watched that more than anything else from any celebration.
I do need to rewatch that, and I've not actually until after I think you showed me. I don't think I've rewatched the Kerry's panel.
It's good, but it's cringy a bit of it.
Yeah, but I mean,
Warwick doesn't get her talking the interested, funny Carrie. He's just like, do you want to talk about when I was an Ewok? It's like,
yeah.
Really? Of all the shit that we could get out of Carrie now?
That is a big running gag that they use at celebrations, though, isn't it? That like the size of Warwick's ego and all this kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean,
and they do kind of labour it a bit.
It's a bit of fun, but like, does it really have to last an hour? And like, we've only got Carrie for an hour, and you're gonna just have her do this stuff. It's like, we're not getting anything out of this.
Yeah.
Matt's left us.
Yeah, he's had enough.
He's an Ewok fan. He's a Wicket fan.
I do need to go and watch those Ewok films. I might have to stick on for Luna. I feel like I don't remember watching them then.
I never watched them.
You never have?
I've seen them on Disney Plus, and
no,
don't want to watch it.
How far in did you get?
About 15 minutes into one of them, and I thought it was quite cool that, them creatures in The Mandalorian, the blurgs in the first season, what he has to learn to ride on in the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
He goes to see Queel. What's he called? Nick Nolte's character.
Mm-hmm.
He's got them things and he shoots one of them. Yeah, that's right. And he they're the blurgs, that's what they're called, and they're in the Ewok movies. I didn't realize they were a reference to the Ewok movies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
the blurgs.
Yeah, they're in the Ewok movie.
Yeah. You've even got the Ewok cartoon series on Disney Plus, which I stuck on for the kids, and that took me right back to being a kid.
Did they put droids on there as well?
Droids is on there too, yeah. Which again, I had an annual of droids back in the day.
I wish I'd have bought any of the droids' toys.
Yes, worth a lot of money
They
now.
are fucking insane money now.
Yeah.
Absolutely bonkers. And I saw, it was quite a rare one, the POTF, the last 17 range of stuff. Of the Kenner figures.
Yeah.
The last 17 that came with the little coin.
Oh, yes.
So you've got like Luke Skywalker in Stormtrooper disguise, General Calrissian with the cape, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
As part of that range, they did the skiff. The Return of the Jedi, Jabba the Hutt desert skiff thing. Mm-hmm. They did that as a vehicle. And I saw one posted up the other day in one of the groups for sale, boxed. I mean, obviously it'd been open, but it was a boxed one. Guess how
Mhm.
much?
No idea.
$1,200.
What?
Ouch.
Rocking horse shit. And then did you see Black Series did one? Did you see
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
You had to, it was like you had to pre-order.
You
It was
did,
like-
yeah. It was
and
massive as well.
It's huge.
Because it's for the 6-inch figures, isn't it?
It's
So
the scale
it's
for
like,
the 6-inch figures.
yeah.
It's jock off. It's absolutely, and it's
I
not.
won't have room for it.
It's not the it's the sail barge, isn't it? It's not.
the sail barge, yeah.
It's not the
Whoa.
skiff. It's the they did the sail barge. It's fucking jock off.
Jabba's sail barge, yeah.
That's
It's-
so cool.
What is it like?
Jock off.
It's jock off. When was the last time you heard that?
I know, not for a long
How
time
much
ago.
is that?
It's jock off, mate. Oh, it wasn't cheap even for the pre-order. Was it a couple £100 or something? I can't remember. Or
Yeah.
was it 5? I can't even remember.
It could have been about 5, actually. It was expensive. Yeah, more than.
And it was a limited because of that, wasn't it? It was like pre-order, and they're only doing this many kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
They're doing some cool stuff at the moment. Did you see this? Nerf have done
The aliens.
the aliens gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
Oh, man,
limited thing.
I'm tempted.
Oh, I'm tempted. And NECA did the 89 Batarang,
Oh, yeah.
and they've just done the the one that he pulls out off the belt and does the.
Oh, yes.
They've just brought that. I'm like,
I stay away from all this merchandise.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's a money hit.
it is a money thing, but that's the problem when you've got when you want to do Star Wars, Blade Runner, anything with Harrison Ford in, Superman, Batman, Back to the Future,
You know,
if
if I could afford,
RoboCop, it's like,
yeah,
how far
Yeah.
do we want it? Excalibur, I'm gonna own that one day.
Excalibur.
Oh, I'm gonna own Excalibur one day. There's somebody that makes it.
Oh, right. Okay. So
You can
like,
get
a
the
replica.
you can get the John Borman replica Excalibur, and it's absolute
Right.
porn.
Nice.
But it's not cheap.
It's expensive.
It's the opposite of cheap.
It's cheap. Very
Well.
opposite of cheap. Well, so there you go.
So there
we
you
weren't
go.
talking about Star Wars anyway. We went off in a.
On a
Do
tangent.
you know what we should have a sting for that.
What huge tangent that one.
Star Wars, huge tangent.
Huge tangent.
Well, the thing
know
is, Star Wars is so big. It does that. It has lots of branches coming off it.
Yeah.
Well, do you know this is a thing about a little side story as well, I suppose. It is another tangent. So you've heard about my mate Jed, who died, who made the lightsaber that I've got and the golden idol. So I ran into his wife Terry at the Donkey Stone thing we did at the Civic weekend before last. And she hadn't heard the I've met Harrison Ford story yet. She didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, when it happened, I said, I phoned my mum, I phoned Gina, my mum, and I was like, I know you guys as well, but I was like, if it could have been a third person, it would have been him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And then she had no idea about the documentary. I don't know how I'd never covered this, but so then I went into like a good half an hour, one of my usual half an hour Harrison Ford, just about what the documentary and talked very passionately about it and blah blah blah.
Was this outside the Civic in Upper Mill?
It was outside the Civic in Upper Mill.
Yeah. My dad dropped my sister off and he said he saw you chatting away, so I just put 2 and 2 together.
Oh, I didn't know your dad had gone. I must have missed him.
No, he didn't go. He dropped my sister off with
I see.
with my nephews and nieces and stuff. Yeah.
Right. So there was like Paddy was in full flow.
Yeah.
So she said, and I'll show you. Hang on. She said, I'll have to turn the light on. After I'd finished speaking, she said, "Shit." She didn't say that. She said, "I'm going to give you Jed's diary.
Oh wow.
I'm going to give it to you. So I was like, oh my god, because I don't know if I've told you about this before, but like, I don't know if I told you about this before, but Jed basically made the Grail. You can kind of buy a rough base of like the Grail diary. Do you know what I mean? Somebody makes them, and he took one of these and ripped it apart, did his own leather binding himself, and then spent months sourcing like period paper from like the 30s and 20s and writing imagined letters between Henry Sr. and Henry Jones Jr. and postcards and things, and he spent months and months and months and months and months on it. And there it is. He even did the postmark, so like when Henry sends it to Indy at the college.
Yeah.
So it comes in that.
Wow.
Look, he's sourced dated stamps from like Vienna.
Jeepers.
Like,
so can you open that?
Oh yeah, that I mean that's just the beginning. Like the detail starts with just the packaging. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And I know this isn't Star Wars, but I was.
Don't matter.
I'm just very grateful.
We're on a Star Wars tangent.
It's Lucasfilm.
Just very grateful about that because it blew me away that she.
I think it's fair to say most Star Wars fans are Indiana Jones fans too.
Yeah, I think so.
Would have thought so.
It does come out of here. Look at that. Look at that bad boy.
Wow.
Nice. Oh, wow.
You can see the detail. Like, it's just... I'm spending hours just going through it. Do you know what I mean? Just to look at the back for a start, he's got like a... he's made little Princeton University, Sean Connery's like ID card.
Wow.
This is intense.
What have we got here? Professor Dr. Henry Jones Jr., Princeton University medieval scholar.
That is crazy stuff. This is stuff like
that he's made all of this. Like you get the base of the main pages that you see.
Like priceless, isn't it?
And he's just added to it. Like he spent. I'm sure this is like the biggest project he ever worked on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just added to it and added to it. What's this? National Lecture Series, Dr. Henry Jones, Medieval Scholar, topic King Arthur, Man or Myth. Like a flyer for some talk that he's done. Do you know what I mean?
That's amazing.
So
he's just carried on and on and on. And that's just like a little bit of things. Oh, what's this? White Star Line, RMS Titanic. This company's liability for badges is strictly... So it says that Professor Henry Jones Jr. was on the Titanic. Look, there's his ticket.
That's so cool.
So, like, he just spent... And, once you get into the book itself, like, there's, letters that he's written stuck in there. And this is all dated paper. It smells like it's really old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you've got all of the... Can you see this? I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's things falling out all the time. You're like, oh, whoops, I'm just...
So he just snuck things in between pages.
Yeah. Dear Henry. From like a postcard from Marcus,
Wow.
Like that. It's just absolutely amazing.
Make me want to watch Last Crusade now.
Yeah, done it. In fact, I was listening to the score today while I was working for the umpteenth time, and that just made me want to throw it back on again as usual.
Yeah.
But it's just, I mean, it's just amazing. So yeah,
good stuff.
So I've got Dad's Grail Diary.
He didn't bring the diary here.
It's one of my favourite bits in the whole film.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones.
Do you think my son? Yes.
Yes.
Do you think my son would be that stupid? He'd bring my diary all the way back here. The look on his face when the penny drops. You didn't bring it, did you? Well, Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fantastic.
That was a big,
Well,
that was a big highlight.
That's amazing, mate.
Very grateful to Terry Castley for that. Thank you, Terry.
Special.
I may have shed a few
This-
tears
Mm.
I
again.
bet. Well, do you know that thing that we're going to do in the future? It ties into this, that the passion of fans for that, to do something, to motivate to do something like that.
That's what motivated the tangent. So the tangent was all the things that I've discovered off being the back of a fan of his. So like you're saying, the passion thing.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, you know, we've spoken to fans here, haven't we? We've spoken to Colin about the costuming thing, and, you know, we've spoken to Brett about the autograph thing and stuff. But it's not just that, and it's like, it's the same for you, and it's like, it's the same for you, Matt. It's like, you know, the amount of things that we discovered off the back of being into that thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, from the back of Star Wars, you got John Williams, like, we got Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, Vangelis, all these directors, different actors they work with, and we would never, you know, probably know about. And it's like, oh, you know, I know who Richard Harris is because he was in Patriot Games with Harrison Ford, and, you know, whatever. It self-perpetuates, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and it becomes a whole thing,
and on it goes, you know.
And that's what's great about it. And I think a lot of people miss that, don't they?
Yeah,
absolutely.
About why we give a shit.
That's right.
Not just for us, but all those things you just said. Star Wars was like the center of gravity for all of that.
Yeah,
just all roads lead back to Star Wars.
That's true.
It changed. It didn't. I remember there's a documentary. If anyone's still watching us, and you've not seen a documentary called "An Empire of Dreams," which is that 2004 set, the DVDs.
It's brilliant.
It's on Disney Plus now in HD, which has never been released in 1080p before, so it's had a bit of an upgrade. It looks great, but you should watch that.
DVD. I had it on DVD. I left it in New Zealand, unfortunately, but it's on Disney
Plus. Get it on Disney Plus.
But yeah, in that, the guy, I can't remember his name. That guy, he wasn't involved in the films. Just talking about it, and he said Star Wars didn't just change like the way movies are made and the way that we see movies and we want our entertainment. It changed the way that so many things were changed pop culture.
It
had a huge impact. Again, I think this is what alluding to what Paddy was just saying, that I think people miss this, and sometimes as fans we're just so involved in it. It's like sometimes we need to step back and just have a look at what it's done. Whether you hate it or you love it, you can't knock its impact on the world.
I don't think anybody. I don't know if this is a quote, but if it isn't a quote, I'll make it a quote. Like, Star Wars was the Beatles of movies, wasn't it?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It was a sea change, wasn't it?
The Beatles changed pop culture, and so did Star Wars.
Yeah.
And well, with these plans, you just sort of mentioned what we've got. Hopefully, we can make something happen around these parts, Paddy?
Yes. There's things like that we can be doing. It
brings fans, like local fans,
together,
and fans far and wide. Together. If people want to travel here, it's
yes,
it's a commonality that everyone shares, and it makes you happy. So
yeah. I've always referred to it as. I've always said that Star Wars is a family, not a way of life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because when we lose people and we feel that collectively, I think, and not in a kind of, I want to say, not in the kind of narcissistic way that society kind of seems to like to write itself into universal grief and collective consciousness over certain issues, which seems to be forced to me and
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
driven by the media, you know.
Yes.
Whereas
Can I just quote something to back you up? A jokey quote. Have you ever seen that Peter Kay thing? Really, 20 odd years ago, Peter Kay.
Yeah,
the ice cream man cometh. So he said, "You can't pack your ice cream van here," and he goes, "Where there's tragedy, there's trade." That's what pops in my head when you say that. Then
very true. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about it too much now, but you know, there's a member of the Star Wars family struggling at the moment with a health thing, and just to see that, you know, the amount of fellow fans and actors from the movies who are just commenting and, you know, offering him support and stuff, and that's what it's all about for me.
Yeah.
It's always felt like that. I've never felt, in terms of, I mean, we don't need to talk about, you know, what upset us about certain films and stuff, but I've never really felt truly, you know, kicked while I was down by Star Wars. It's always kind of helped to pull me back up.
Yeah.
It's again that comes back. We were talking before about how powerful it is. I think at those stages in our life, if it has lifted somebody up, you're going to remember that, and that's could be why Favreau was getting upset, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know," and it's like maybe you just forgot, but how it resonated with you and how it made you feel hasn't gone. It's still there, and when something new Star Wars comes along and it has that impact on you.
And you know what?
That's why it's a big responsibility.
It is, and I feel like Favreau and Filoni have found, maybe they already knew all along, but with what they were saying, you know, Star Wars is supposed to be something that makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it almost felt like, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it almost felt like, you know, an apology. You know, sorry about that, what we did a few years ago, but this is for you now. I don't know.
Those two have got nothing to apologise for.
No, they haven't. They haven't, but they do work.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. You mean it as a brand, so to speak.
Yes.
Lucasfilm.
Yeah. Could be.
And you know, I'm hoping so. Anyway, there's a lot of people are.
That's probably the closest you're gonna get. If that is what it is, that's the closest you'll get.
Yeah.
Of course.
They'll not start trashing their own
stuff.
No,
my eyes sort of widened as soon as Favreau started talking in that show.
Yeah.
With, you know, watch it again and hear what he has to say straight off the bat. You know, and it's great. Like, it's good. It's a good direction to go in. And again, with what he was saying Kathy's entrusting us to do this. So it almost fit, you know, with those words, he's saying like, we've got free reign to do what we want to do, basically. So
he was saying as well that she sets up the mechanics, because this is what I was talking about when we're talking about her working with Spielberg. She sets up the mechanics and has everything in place so that the creativity can happen. Yeah, and that's essentially what he was saying.
So she's being a producer.
She's so good at it. I mean, again, I'm repeating myself from before, but the box office figures. I mean, if that industry, and it is all about money, she's the best. She's the biggest box office producer.
So do you think the mistake she made probably a few years ago was trying to get into the creative side of things? So she had a lot of input with the sequels, right?
I don't know.
Creatively.
I don't know how much involved she was or not. It's not really. Yeah.
It's never been.
It's not clear.
It's never been confirmed, has it?
That's why that Mandalorian thing is surprised. That gallery today. It's like it shows you everything. It's the most illuminating we've seen from Lucasfilm since Revenge of the Sith. We've not seen behind the scenes like that on the sequel trilogy. It's been very certain shots closed
Hollywoody.
off.
Yeah.
The one film where it was really illuminating, which is weird, of all the stuff that's come out, was The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi was an open book.
Hamill not looking too happy. Yeah,
and they put it all in the documentary, and I'm surprised they've done that.
Still never seen it.
But Force Awakens.
What, the documentary on it?
I think you should.
I couldn't bring myself to watch it. I was so upset with that film.
You should watch it just to see what Hamill says.
The documentary.
Yeah, well, I've seen the clips.
The documentary is a film of itself. It actually has a director. The other documentaries don't. They're just clips of people talking about the films and the shows.
It is actually very, very, very good.
The director in the Jedi one is, I think it's amazing. It's one of the best. I think the best making of ever is the Lord of the Rings extended trilogy.
Oh yeah.
And in second place, I probably put the Phantom Menace documentary. I think that's fantastic as well. And then probably the Jedi one.
Supergrass, a home movie as well. I would.
Is that good?
Yeah.
I've not seen it.
It's one of the greatest documentaries ever made. But that doesn't. In terms of making of, well, I would go. Well, you know what I'm going to go with for number one, probably.
Blade Runner.
That the making of documentary that they did for the final cut is insane. It is the best document because the whole 2 hours of it is illustrated with outtakes from the film. So every shot that you've never seen is in that documentary, pretty much, illustrating all the things they're talking about. The same scene from a different angle that you've not seen before, an extension on the scene that you've never seen before, all while people are talking about the film. It's fucking Blade Runner porn. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so good.
There's not enough Vangelis in it, but yeah, it is good.
You can never have enough Vangelis for my liking. They need to release a 49 disc box of the Vangelis music, including all the home demos and everything.
Oh right,
I'll take it all of it, everything.
The stems,
everything,
the alternates. Yeah, we all want that stuff.
The farts, all of it. Vangelis pumping into a microphone in between takes. I'll listen to it all.
Fair enough.
Pumping.
Yeah, all these major motion pictures where people are begging for the soundtracks to be released and just not happening.
Mm-hmm. Even Jaws, man.
What?
Like
the Jaws documentary.
Yeah, the documentary for Jaws.
Very good.
I love like hearing Robert Shaw off camera. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, brilliant.
That is a good
Mad as cheese. Mad as cheese, that geezer.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Have you watched the restoration documentary on Jaws as well? When they did the Blu-ray
for the 4K thing. Oh, for the Blu-ray.
The 4K Blu-ray is the scan they did for the restoration for the 1080p version.
Is it? Okay.
It's a elaboration on that essentially. So the restoration thing for 4K was just what they did on the 1080p version. Really,
probably have watched it, but it might be a while ago.
It's pretty good. Like Spielberg was saying when the 4K one came out, he said the film has never looked this good.
Yeah.
Like even when we had it on 35mm in the cinemas, it didn't. It's never looked this good.
It never looked this good. Yeah,
it is incredible.
It is incredible. Yeah.
I watched that streaming version at your house, and it was mind blowing in the world.
Yeah. Well, I've got the 4K like disc now.
I've got the disc too,
and
I've got a 4K player.
Blows me socks off. Oh, you'll have to come round and watch it, man.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
especially
with the sound system.
And my jaw was dropped.
Yeah, the first like the sunset on the beach at the start of the movie.
Mm.
You know, it's with the HDR. We talk about HDR a lot, Andy, but it's just so bright and
Next Sunday, I really need to have a date with Blade Runner as well, if I can possibly manage it.
That's our first film, isn't it? That's the first film on our list.
Yes, but did you hear what? Well, you know what's happening, don't you? Bridgewater Hall a week on Sunday.
Are you doing it? Is it sold out? I
don't think it has. No, I don't think it has. I think I really need to do it.
You know, Return of the Jedi's there as well. Not too long in the distant future.
Yeah.
But I'm not bothering.
And the Joker. The Joker's doing one as well, isn't it?
I've not seen both of the Star Wars with the orchestra, but Blade Runner, I don't think I can pass that up.
No.
That synth stuff live in the Bridgewater as well. The
acoustics, yeah.
Pornographic. I've only ever been to one thing I've been to two things in the Bridgewater. So Jackie Mason, the Jewish comedian, recently departed.
Oh yeah,
brilliant. And Chris Cornell.
Oh, nice.
Last tour in there. Just him and an acoustic guitar. It was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Bridgewater's possibly the best venue in the country for me, acoustic-wise.
It is. It's beautiful.
The acoustics are fantastic.
That place in Newcastle's really good too.
I've not been there.
I forget what it's called. That's all wood and stuff. I saw Hewley's and the news in there. It was superb. It's called the bugger. Can't remember. Doesn't matter. Anyway, it's very nice. Right, well, on that bombshell, I suppose we should get out of here, guys. Huge tangent's back, and
huge tangent.
Until next time.
I wanted to finish just on when we were talking about the Star Wars family stuff because it was really touching. We just ended it there. It just left people with a nice feeling.
Yeah.
But we talked a little bit more, and that's okay because that's what we do on this program.
We do.
Well, we've been positive and it's got emotional. So more of that.
More Luke Skywalker.
More of that.
More Vader, and I'm getting it.
Yes, man.
Kenobi.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway,
well, we continue.
We could carry on, couldn't we? We won't.
We could.
Of course.
Next time.
May the force be with you, folks.
Bye, everyone.
We'll see you very, very soon. All the best.
Goodbye there.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.